Cool. Well, welcome to the first Hot and Soul Racing podcast. We've just realised we don't actually have a proper name for it, so we'll probably think of that.
The name will probably change 3 times, and if we're just going to do more of them.
It probably will, and things like that will happen because this is our first ever podcast, and we've never done one before, and we're not very technically minded.
I should probably put my phone on silent.
Yeah, phone's on silent, and we'll crack on. So my name's Paul, if you don't really know.
My name's Logan.
And what we're going to talk about today is Hot and Soul Racing, how it started, what we're all about, what our values are, and what we've got lined up for this year. It's been a pretty good year, wasn't it, Logan?
It's going to be a big year. It's definitely going to be interesting.
So we've got a lot planned, a lot lined up. And so, yeah, we're just going to dig into it, talk a bit about us, and talk about Hot and Soul Racing.
Yeah, so why did you start running then, like in the first place? Why did you get into running? You've been running for years, haven't you?
I mean, I'm a lot older than you, though, so you're definitely the cool one of the crew. I mean, I was running probably on and off for years. It was probably my early 20s started running. It's more road running, and it's more, I was part of the Harriers. I was part of Morpeth Harriers back then.
Quick.
Yeah, that's back in the day when I was quick, back in those 5k days, 17 minutes chasing. Not anymore, though.
I still think you've got quicker times than me in the 5k, the half, and the marathon.
Not in the marathon.
I haven't done an official one.
Yeah.
My only marathon is the ultra we did.
Your first marathon. Yeah, your training for your marathon was ridiculous. It was for the ultra marathon, sorry, because what was the longest you did?
I did 2 half marathons ever. I did one in training and I did one official race one. And that was the furthest I've run. I think I might have done 1k over a half marathon in my training, and that was it.
Yeah, so don't copy Logan on your training plans. Although you are doing training plans for runners now, so actually, do copy Logan.
Yeah, try to. I tell people it's do as I say, not as I do kind of thing when I coach people.
Yeah, that's it. But tell me a bit about you, Logan. Obviously, I know about you, but what's your background? Are you an ultra runner, trail runner?
No, I've only been running for 2 years, give or take. I used to play basketball until I was 18, so I was fit and active. And then I stopped doing all kinds of fitness for a few years, and I got back into it through High Rocks. So I started running just because you have to run in High Rocks, more than what I thought. So I started running for that, and then I got into doing the half marathon thing. But I'd never done ultra distances until you got us involved in that one, which was a little bit mental.
Yeah.
But I always seen running as a punishment. When I was playing basketball, it was running was always you're late to practice, right? You've got to run. It was always a bad thing running, so I'd never go out and just enjoy a run on the roads or anything. I used to hate it.
Yeah.
So it's only the last 2 years I've really enjoyed running, give or take. I don't use the word enjoyed.
It depends how you take it, isn't it? I mean, the first 2 weeks when you're building a plan, it can be hard if you go from couch to 5k, but once you get into it, get in the flow.
I'd see running, this is what I tell everyone, running's like wine and olives. It's an acquired taste. You're not going to like it at first. We've just got to force your way through it. If you eat olives for a week, I guarantee you'll like olives by the end of that week.
It's true.
You've got to force your way through the rough bit at the beginning.
This is a running podcast and you're saying that, so...
That's how I feel. You got to tough out the rough bit at the beginning. You will like it eventually.
Yeah. So, should we talk a bit about how Hot and Soul Racing came together and how we kind of met and kind of how we came up with this idea?
Yeah, can do. So that was when you dragged us along to do 110k ultra. As we've just mentioned, I've never done more than a half marathon, and Paul decided to convince me that it was a great idea. Decided to do 110k over 2 days. So it was 60k the first day and then 50k the second day.
Yeah, and this wasn't it was Ultra X England. So if anyone's done that, it's what was the vert on it? It was 4,000?
4,500 meters, I think.
It was meters as well, and I thought it was in feet.
You told me it was feet.
I was it's not that bad, it's a bit bumpy, it's a few lumps.
There was a week before we had to do it that I found out it was meters from you when I bumped into you in Morpeth, and I was like, oh shit, so it's double what I thought it was going to be pretty much.
Yeah, and we rocked up and everyone had the poles, everyone had the gear, and we kind of just, we styled it out.
What was it? I think it's the equivalent of Ben Nevis 3 times.
Yeah.
The on it.
Who knew the Peak District was that hilly? I thought the TV was so hilly, but...
I think it's in the name, isn't it? Peak District?
Yeah.
We should have probably realised it.
But you enjoyed it though. It was good, wasn't it?
Well, I've signed up to do another one this year, so I've got the wall book this year as well, so I didn't hate it as much as I thought.
That's going to be more of your street, road running.
Yeah, quick-ish. Quick for an ultra, I suppose.
Sub 13 hours you're going for.
That's what I'm going to aim for.
You heard it here first, guys.
I'm going to aim for sub 13. I have looked at the paces for that and it's outrageously quick.
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, that's kind of how we came up with the plan. It was kind of, I mean, prior to that as well, you got me to a High Rocks. We all trained at Process Gym. High Rocks is all on trend now. You do a lot of High Rocks.
Yeah, I've done a few. I've done Glasgow, where I did my first one, and then somebody was sick the day after. So after my first ever open solo was, the next day it was like, oh, do you want to do a doubles? And I was like, I think it was 6 hours notice. I took it on. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Let's go for it. And my legs didn't feel too bad in the morning when I took the ticket. Every hour that went by leading up to the start time, they got worse and worse and worse.
I remember that. I watched you do that one, I'm sure.
That was
I was at that one.
Me and Tom. It was Tom's first one as well.
Did you have like a massive steak the night before or something as well?
I had 2 Five Guys burgers as well as a large chips to myself. Like, the prep was not ideal to be going into a doubles the next day.
Protein loading.
I think we did an hour 4 though. It wasn't like slow. We did alright for it.
Pro?
No, open. Both of them were open.
Pussy.
And then we went and did Dublin in November just gone, when me and Tom did 55 minutes in an open, which got a third on the podium, so that was the quickest time.
So yeah, High Rocks pro athlete here.
And I was coming off the back of that ultra with you as well, so my training wasn't ideal going into that either. It wasn't High Rocks training, it was just ultra.
No, exactly. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where. So both our background is fitness. We both love fitness. I mean, I'm an outdoor enthusiast, and you're
getting there.
You're getting there with it.
In the summer, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to get around to running in the winter when it's cold and wet.
Well, that's it. I mean, today's a beautiful day, and we're locked up inside trying this first podcast, which probably only our mums are going to listen to and watch. But
yeah, we'll get 5 views. two of them views will be me watching it on different accounts.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it started, and that's how we met. We met at Process. We did a few High Rockses. I dragged you to an ultra, and I don't know if it was delirium kicking in or whatever, but we had a chat about it when we were plodding together, shuffling, walking. Yeah. So we think we can do things better. I mean, there's a shitload of events out there now. The market is saturated of races, and what people are probably thinking when they see us, they say, wow, not another race. But we're trying to do things differently.
I think if you're in the scene, you see a lot of races and stuff. Like, I had no idea how many looped events there actually was in terms of like smaller ones going on all over. Like, I'd heard of backyard ultras. I thought it was more of an American thing. I didn't realise there was any in this country. So in terms of looped events, I didn't know there was that much. I think you've got to be very much in the scene to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, High Rocks is so big now that everyone's heard of it, even just general gym goers.
Yeah.
Whereas the ultra stuff's still a bit more niche. I think it's getting more mainstream. Like, a marathon, although yes, it's very impressive for people to complete it now, I think like a 50k is the new marathon. Like,
definitely.
You hear ultra runners talk about the 200 miles as the new 100 miles. Like, everyone's just pushing the boundaries all the time.
Yeah.
But I still think ultra running's a niche scene for the general public.
I think it definitely is, and kind of it leads us on quite nicely to like our core values there, doesn't it? Heart and soul racing, and one of them I think is making trail running and ultra running more accessible. So if you mention it to 95%, 96% of people, do you want to do an ultra? They'll say, no way.
It's the word ultra. The word ultra just puts them off immediately.
Yeah. I think it's trail running as well. You know, like people, you see people doing loops, they'll happily do 10-mile loops around an estate.
We spoke to someone yesterday who was saying, oh, is an ultra 50k? It's an ultra is a marathon. Then if you don't stop your watch till you walk to your car, you've technically done an ultra.
Yeah.
If you go over a marathon distance,
yeah,
you've technically done an ultra. That's all it is. It's 2 steps more than a marathon.
Yeah, and who does an ultra actually runs the entire ultra, except for the top 5-10% run 100%.
Yeah, I would say it's an arguable take, but an ultra, maybe not like a 100-miler or something, but a 50k in the hills is arguably easier than doing a road marathon.
100%. This you stole that from me, because I always say any ultra is easier than a marathon. Like I said, maybe not a 100-miler.
I don't want to say any. I think when I do the wall, it's going to be rough. But I would say,
you're racing that like you would a marathon.
You stop, you take more food on board, you walk more. I would say if you plan your nutrition right because of the aid stations on the way, it's easier to fuel. It's not doing it all on gels like you would on a road marathon, and you're not full tilt. Like, your heart rate's going to be much lower on certain sections of it than it would be running a marathon.
You see my heart rate zones on Strava. 99% is in zone 2. Yes, I need to do some more speed work, but I can't be asked. But
When we did that out there, I got to the first climb, I was at 170, I was like, shit, I'm doing this wrong. I think that was just nerves. I think I was at 160 on the start line.
well, that's it. Live and learn, but we never learn.
I never will.
No. So, but yeah, I mean that's one of the key values of Heart and Soul Racing is trying to make trail running, ultra running more accessible, giving the guys the tools to be able to do that prior to putting on any races. It leads nicely on to what we're doing a trail club. It's a trail club, yeah. It's the only sign we've got.
Yeah, I need to change this. That's cracked actually for tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get that changed. We use that one.
Yeah.
So, so it leads us nicely on the trail club and what we've been doing with that. So a lot of you might have already been on trail club, and all it is, it's a free community event. I hate the word run club, and a lot of people keep calling it run club.
You keep calling them day clubs, don't you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a day club. I mean, it's great. Running's more on trend. It's great. More people are getting involved in running. But when I see run club, all these influencers and stopping off at Starbucks, all the the commercialization of it.
Alpha flies on. All
Alpha
the latest
flies,
running
carbon plates to run 11-minute miles. No, just stick to Tinder.
You're right though. I love that it's getting more people out and running. But you're always going to get that crowd that ruin everything, don't you? The more accessible it gets, you get that people in who just are ruining it for the people who enjoy this.
Yeah, part of it as well. You see these run clubs and they're running around. I mean, some city centres are nice, yeah, but like, what's the point? You want to get outside in nature, hit some trails, go somewhere you've not been before, explore new places and meet new people.
What I don't get is the logistics of it. So our last one had, 70, 80 people there? Imagine doing that around a city centre where there's roads and there's cars and stuff. I'd be so worried that someone's going to get hit by a car and it's like, I've organised this event. It would be horrific. I'd be so on edge.
Yeah, I mean, we get round by say it's a meet-up. We don't charge for it, so...
You can kind of come in at your own will kind of thing.
Yeah, if you do, I mean, we do a bit of a safety briefing, but if you do break your leg,
it's your fault.
It's on you. Yeah.
We try and plan the routes reasonably. They're not too technical or anything. It's trying to get people outdoors who would usually just run on roads, get them out to a trail that's not a really hard trail. Like the ones we've done are mainly beaches and stuff.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit in the dunes and stuff where it's a little bit more technical, but it's nothing crazy.
I think the coastal stuff works so nice though. I mean, was it last weekend? I mean, that was a beautiful run, beautiful day. And tomorrow we got one of Sculpt.
Last weekend or 2 weekends ago?
Can't remember. But yeah, it's all merged into one, isn't it? But the Trail Club, it's fantastic. And the way we're going to scale that is we're going to set them as, we're always going to do one Trail Club at least every month for free, build a bit of a community and try and give everyone the skills to hit the trails and just show people new locations. They could go and do that route by themselves.
Yeah, that's the social one. That's coffee and cake afterwards. That's like easy pace. You've got people who are, I think the fastest people go 6-minute Ks, and then you've got people further back than that. It's nothing crazy. It's not.
You can walk it as well. We got a tail walker at the back. You can walk it, and we're probably going to start doing more intermediate and expert sessions. We're working with people to maybe different classes, training with
I'd like to do that.
Poles.
I'd like to write some training programs that's a little bit more fits into my training, especially when I'm after kind of this week. Well, next week when we've got that ridiculous one. But after that, when I'm training for the wall, I'll be doing a bit more technical stuff, a bit more longer distance. So if there's a smaller group of people who want to get involved kind of with my training plan, I'll just put them out there so people can come and join in.
Well, I mean, we've got the WhatsApp community we started now, and I've been dropping in when I'm going to go for a run. And anyone's welcome to join on those runs. I mean, sometimes I might just want to go by myself. Something like those runs where you're just angry with everyone and you just want to stick in
I get a bit like
the
that.
hardstyle dance or ABBA.
That's why it's good that you're there for these trail clubs and stuff. There's some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I'm just not feeling enthusiastic today.
You're the grumpy one, though. You're the grumpy one, yeah.
It's hard to be enthusiastic all the time, you know what I mean? I don't wake up like that every day. I need at least 2 Red Bulls.
Caffeine helps me. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a bit about trail clubs and what it is. So keep an eye out for trail clubs. We're on Strava. We stick on Eventbrite just for health and safety. We do limit those clubs to a certain amount of people. We've got 80 booked on for tomorrow. I think that's the max we can have.
I'd say with that route, a lot of it's single path and stuff. Anything more than that's just going to be...
But we should be good tomorrow. We've got Scott there again, Trial the Shoes, and we've also got the sauna company, this Far Out Sauna.
Yeah, that giveaway. Well, I don't know that this podcast will be live tomorrow, to be fair, so people will be hearing this after the fact.
Oh yeah, well, let's edit this out.
This happened last week, probably by the time we get around to editing this. But the giveaway is sick that they're doing with them glasses. I'm a little bit jealous.
Yeah.
Can I
get some glasses?
Am I allowed to get a ticket, or is that cheap?
I think we should get a ticket.
I want a ticket. I want to win them.
Michelle.
They looked sick when she put the picture in the chat. I was like, I want them.
So, but that's a good intro. I mean, that's kind of talks through kind of what Heart and Soul Racing is, when we started. The other values we've got is we discussed obviously making trail running more accessible. We live in the northeast of England. We're really proud of it. We're proud Geordies. We live around here. I mean, we live in Northumberland, but everywhere in the northeast.
I was thinking about this the other day. You know, if this gets really popular, like Heart and Soul Racing the festival, we're going to really ruin it. There's going to be so many people coming here.
Too many people. I mean, we want to showcase the northeast, but we're a bit selfish. We want to keep it to ourselves as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to ruin it.
So yeah. Watch this space when Heart and Soul Racing gets too big.
It's good though, because the stuff, like say, in the Peak District, like it's all kind of down south, and there's nothing up here really, and it's such a beautiful part of the country.
Yeah, I mean, there's mint races. There's loads of mint races, really good race companies, and you know, and they've been ever so kind to us as well, and encouraging. Most have been.
Yeah.
Let's not drop any names, or I'll get in trouble off somebody. So yeah. Promoting the northeast, we got a beautiful location. You know, we want to get you guys out there rather than running around industrial estates and housing estates. Get onto the trails, and then finally, kind of the big thing as well is promoting a positive mental health.
Yeah, that's a big one for us. Obviously, I've struggled with mental health, like on and off, like especially more so when I'd had that period where I didn't train, when I stopped playing basketball.
Yeah,
like that's when it was really bad. I was out drinking a lot, and that doesn't help the situation. Kind of just running away from your problems.
Yeah.
Now I use running as a way to deal with my problems more than anything.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's struggled with it, so getting people to talk about it more in that community setting with people who are like-minded and into the same thing as you, I think it's a massive thing to promote.
But there's still a massive stigma around it, isn't there? Like people say they talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, blokes are probably worse than...
Your generation's worse than mine. Like people who are a bit older, I think people my age kind of speak about it. But it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you are.
I think people my age speak about it a little bit more, but there's still that stigma. Less so in this kind of community I found, but when I used to drink a lot, and I wouldn't call them friends, but my drinking buddies at the time,
yeah.
like you don't speak about it. It's like you just go out and just have 5 more pints and don't say anything until you've had too many pints, and then everyone's crying at the end of the night.
Sounds like a good night. So, but yeah, I mean that's it. And as part of that, we're partnering with Calm. We're going to donate a percentage of our profits to Calm as well. They do great work. I mean, they're a suicide hotline prevention charitable charity.
Yeah. Hopefully this should be live before we do our event next week.
Fingers crossed.
It's a big one for us.
Yeah.
So me and Paul are going to run a 24-hour. It's the same route that's going to be the festival run. So it's a 4K loop, and we're going to run that for 24 hours and try to get as close to 100 miles or over if we can.
I think if we put it out there on the podcast and we tell everyone we're doing 100 miles, and we have to then. If I don't tell anyone, if I do 60 miles, I'm like, oh, well done, you've done 60 miles. And I'll be like, yeah.
People have been asking me, they're like, how far are you going to do? I'm like, depends.
Yeah, so I've been telling people, I've not put it on socials yet, but if it's on the podcast, then we have to...
At least go for it.
We have to go for it. We're going to go for it. We're going to put our bodies in line. I mean, I'm just doing that one. So, I mean, if 100 miles or 24 runs not hard enough, tell us a bit more about what you're doing. So that actual challenge is 24:51.
Yeah, so it's the 24-hour run, which we're doing on the Sunday, the 16th. Then on the 19th, I've got a 50-kilometer row, which I'm doing a process. So I'm doing that in the gym on a concept rowing machine, which will be horrific.
How long's that row do you think it's going to take you?
5-6 hours, I imagine.
Like, I can't even sit down on a chair for 5 to 6 hours.
I'll have to stand up and stretch my legs every now and again a little bit. I just can't let the row machine go off. I've got to keep it ticking over.
Do you know how long that Concept 2 machine lasts?
You set it as 50k, so it counts down. So it's not counting up. You set it as 50k start, and then it counts down. So there's like a setting on it. You can do that.
So, but the screen, how long does it take to switch off though?
Oh, I don't know. I should probably find that out. It hasn't switched off in any of my training yet when I've been doing like 20k's and stuff. And
You've not had to go for a poo or anything, have you, Johnny?
Well, a few times. I've had to fill water up and stuff like that. It's been alright. But Brendan's going to be there for most of it with us. So I've been like, can you just sit next to us and feed us pizza while I'm going back and forward in a roller machine?
I'm going to live stream it. I'm going to stick it on the next podcast for the No Name podcast, which we're doing now. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, and then
I'm going to interview on it.
I won't be able to speak. And then I'm finishing the week on the 22nd. I've got a pro high rocks in Malaga. So I've got a pro solo high rocks in Malaga at the end of the week.
That's pretty easy compared to everything else, really, isn't it?
It's the weights. Like the 30k bag on my back when I'm doing lunges, I'm concerned I might just collapse. I need one of them little boxes out that people get when they're doing the wall balls at the end.
I think the part there would be the sled. I mean, even fresh for me, pushing that sled.
Yeah, the pro weights are heavy as well on the pull and
What's
stuff.
the pro weight on that?
205 kilo on the push and 153 on the pull, I think it is, if I remember correctly. Something like that. I've been training a bit heavier process. Obviously, the track's good up there, so I've been training heavy with it, but I've been mainly just focused on running. It's more just getting through it. I've had a few people say that it's going to look ridiculous because people are looking at us and go, oh, he looks quite fit, he should be doing well. And I'm just crippled.
You need like a sign on your back saying, I've ran 100 miles this week and I've rode 50k.
Yeah, well, I was going to email them in Malaga, but obviously it's all in Spanish and stuff like that. So I dropped them an email and it was just ignored. They just don't care. They're like, we don't care what you're doing leading up to this. If you're not prepping right, it's your fault.
Yeah, no, we should have done, because that bloke who did, what did he do? Did an ultra high rocks in London.
The ones in England are really helpful with it,
yeah.
If you get in touch with them, but Malaga haven't been great. They've just kind of been like, yeah, it's your fault. It's the worst tape.
Well, we'll plan some kind of hell week for you next year. So,
but I want to plan my challenge next year after this. So
do some big challenges. Watch this space. We'll plan some decent challenges.
I've got some ideas.
I'll do some running with you. Nothing else. Thank you very much.
Well, I think next year I want to do only running. I've thought I want to do John O'Groats to Land's End.
I like that, but let's find the time and do it.
18 days.
Wouldn't have any time right now.
18 days, give or take. Obviously, the training leading up to it's mega.
Let's do it on a treadmill.
No, I actually won't do it. If I'm going to do it, I'll need to lend your van. But yeah, 18 days, that's kind of what I've got in my head to do next year. I've looked at doing the circumference of Ibiza as well.
What's that?
110 miles, 24 hours.
That's not too bad. 24 hours though.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the route properly because obviously it's like coastal and some of it's quite rocky and stuff.
That's doable.
But
I wonder if there's an FKT there.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much deal. Might be though. There's people who've done ultras in Ibiza like from the top to the bottom, like the full distance of it, which I think is only like, I think it's 50 or 60k. It's not outrageous because Ibiza marathon's nearly the full length anyways.
That'll be good. Well, I'll come and crew you.
Yeah,
you'll find me in amnesia
before the season starts and none of the clubs are open.
Maybe I'm not coming crew you. So
we'll plan it right to a finish as opening parties start.
But yeah, so I mean that's the challenge. We've both got a shared what do you call it? Just given page.
Just given, yeah. So the goal is to raise £1,000, which I think we're getting pretty close to at the minute.
Come on, let's get over £1,000. We got to do that.
Yeah, so it's all for a good cause and stuff, and watching us die, I'm sure it'll be entertaining for all of it. There'll be a YouTube going out of that, me doing the whole week, and one of just the 24-hour ultra.
Yeah, we're going to try and vlog as much of it as we can. We'll get that on this channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Edit all that out as well, so you probably see us crying and.
To be fair, I'm going to edit as little of it as possible. I'm just going to leave it pretty raw footage and just...
That's a good idea. We'll put a few versions on.
Show people just the whole process of us dying, pretty much.
Yeah. So, no, that sounds good. And then kind of moving on to the main thing of what this podcast and what we want to do in this podcast is talk about Heart and Soul Fest. It's our flagship event this year. We've had so many questions. We've been inundated with people asking, what is it? I don't really understand. So we need to really dig into what the festival's about, what we're doing at the festival, what's included in your pricing, and kind of run through all of that.
It's a pretty new concept. There's nothing really like this that I've seen anywhere, so it's a pretty tough thing to wrap your head around. It's not just an ultra race.
I think the key thing, you hit the nail on the head there, because there's a lot of running festivals.
Yeah.
And what it is we've got a 5k, a 10k, a 20k, like a marathon, an ultra.
Yeah.
And they've called it in the festival, they put on some music.
Yeah.
That's not what this is.
No, this is a festival with it. See, it's hard to even explain. It's a festival with an ultra, with a hybrid arena, Pilates, yoga, paddleboard.
Yeah.
It's a fitness festival more than a running festival, I'd say. But the headline act's still the run.
That's the way I describe it to people. I say, think of any festival you go to. Think of Glasgow, Leeds Fest, Reading. The headline acts is the music. You go for the music, you go and get pissed, have a few drinks, you come back feeling like shit. Our festival, the headline acts is the events and what you're going to do. Yes, we've got a main stage. We'll have some good acts on there. We'll have DJs, live music all weekend. But the headline acts is we're doing a run. We're doing a big race. We're doing the hybrid, and you call it IROX. We've got yoga. We've got Pilates. We got hiking. We got water sports. We got climbing walls, kids activities, the slip and slide. We haven't really announced much of this yet, so I guess people
You'll
probably
see it
haven't
coming
seen
on
it.
socials.
You'll
when
see it come
comes.
on the socials, yeah, and we're going to obviously promote this, but there's going to be so much to do. And not just for the runners, not just for the hybrid athletes, but for your friends, your family, and for kids. There's going to be loads of stuff for kids to do.
But back to what we were saying earlier about making it accessible, the main headline act being that run, it is a 4K loop and it can be done in teams. So if you've got a team of, you can do it solo or a team of up to 12, but if you're a team of even 6 people, say, you can run, if you run one lap together, all 6 years, that's 6 laps you've got for your team now. So you don't have to do it in a traditional relay style. However, if you want more rest, you can do it like that. So it's totally flexible of how you want to run it. If your goal is to run a half marathon, you've got 12 or 24 hours, depending on which race you pick, to run your half marathon in broken up segments if you want to. You can run 4K, have a rest, run 4K, have a rest, and eventually clock up a larger distance than you've ever ran before.
Yeah, so we'll put a plug in for the headline act or the headline event, which is the race, which is called Heartbreak Lake. And it's either 24-hour or 12-hour.
Yep.
And you can enter. There's going to be a few mad bastards that want to do it solo or pairs.
That's how I do it.
Probably like us. We're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go and do it. But I think the main people, and there are similar races to this, there are like big corporate ones, there's a couple out there, you've got Endure 24,
Yeah.
you got a couple of things like that.
Have they got to be done traditional relay style though?
Yes, they've got to be done traditional relay style. So our key difference is, like for you, if you've got a team of 10, for your first 2 laps, run all together and clock up 20 laps then.
Even later on when you're struggling, 4 of you can run together, you're with your mates, you're keeping each other company, you're egging each other on to do another one. It's that spirit of running together. So it's not signing up in a team and, I'm not actually going to run with my team. You just can run together.
Yes, there's no event we're aware of, certainly not in the northeast or in the north, which does that style of running. Everyone can run together, you can pick and choose, and it's the total accumulation, the total amount of laps per team wins, and we're going to have each category. So you've got a category for solo, category for pairs, small teams, medium teams, large teams. And we call the large teams more fun teams because...
I think the big thing is though with the time cap is like you don't have to run that length either. There's no cut-off times. You're not going to get DNF'd in it. If you are signed up with a 24-hour race and you get 18 hours in and people in your team still want to run, you might just go, fuck that guys, I'm going to the bar, I'm getting a pizza and I'm getting myself a pint, I've had enough. And then you go and enjoy the festival and cheer your mates on. There's no pressure to keep going.
So I mean that's a great point as well. There's no cut-offs like there is in a backyard. So if you did 4 laps and you want to do 8 laps, but you just got timed out, and you thought that was a waste of money, like there's no cut off for this.
You can go and rest for an hour, then come back to it. You know what I mean? Go and put your feet up, go and jump in an ice bath, go see one of the physios that are going to be there. Like you've got options to dip in and out of it. You don't have to. You're not locked into running for that time. Which I think is a massive thing.
And like you say, you can just if you've done 15 hours and just want to quit, then that's it. Just go and do that as well, and go and grab a beer. So that's really nice about the race. I think we kind of went through that in quite a bit of detail. But any questions, drop it in the comments, and we'll answer them as best we can. You can do a race only option, which there was a lot of confusion around our whole pricing structure. I think when you go on to our ticket provider, Let's Do This, there's a list there of probably about 30 options.
Give or take.
So it is quite confusing. We've recently put an Instagram post out which basically says this is the way it is. You can get the race solo, like nothing else. You can get the whole festival tickets with either the 24 race, the 12-hour race, or the hybrid. And then you've also got just kind of standalone tickets. So a day pass, a weekend pass, VIP camping, and you can add that all on.
Well, I think the big thing is with any of these tickets or just the day passes, the yoga, the Pilates, all that's included. So if you're like, I want to go do a yoga session that's on at 2 in the afternoon, just plan that with your team. Go like, right, at 2 o'clock, I'm dipping out for 45 minutes to do this yoga session because I want to do that. You just carry on running, clock up some laps. But I'm going to go pop into the yoga or the Pilates. That's all included in your ticket price, which I think is a big thing. So it's like you're getting a lot there with it in terms of the fitness festival. There's so many other things you can do as well as just running.
Obviously, you've got the key speakers as well. We've already announced Tommy Lewis. He's coming on the Friday. He's going to be there all weekend as well. So he's going to do a great talk. I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be good.
I'm a proper fanboy. So that should be good. We're going to have loads more speakers kind of around all sorts of things really, not just running.
Some great food
Nutrition, some great food vendors.
Deep North.
So
Catch me
excited
at
about
the
Deep North.
donut stand all weekend because that's
Yeah.
where I'll be.
Yeah. So imagine that. I mean, one of them. I had one of their burnt butter donuts.
So good.
The other day after a run. Oh my god.
They're so good.
Oh my god.
Pure ultra fuel.
Yeah. I bought some for the kids, but I ate them as well. So that's probably why I'll never be a slim runner. But we don't need that. So yeah, that's went into kind of Heartbreak Lake and what that is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the hybrid arena a bit.
Yeah, well, Brendan's doing all that. So RPT, Process Driven Fitness, and he's the owner of it there. So he's came up with a great workout. We're keeping it secret until close at the time. So it's going to be announced similar to like the CrossFit events where you don't know until kind of a week before maybe, and we'll announce it. But
Just give people a feel for it.
it's muscular endurance, it's ergs, it's nothing too technical. There's no barbell stuff involved. There's nothing like super high skill level,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of grunt work.
I think it pretty much, if you can do a high rocks, you're going to be able to do that.
You'll enjoy it. If you can
You'll
do a
enjoy
high
it.
rocks, you'll enjoy that kind of
Yeah.
thing. That can be done in solo or pairs as well. And then
Yeah.
there's an open and a pro category as well,
Yeah.
which is the same workout.
I think it's really nice that we've got the ergs outside. Like, we do have a wet plan in case it rains. There will be a marquee like for the arena. But a lot of these events, when you see, there's a lot of great events. District L, there's a lot of CrossFit style ones, which might be a bit too technical. You know, got your them toaster bars.
Yeah.
We got none of that in, so it's going to be pretty much anyone can do it. But it's all going to be outside. I mean, one of the key things which I hated about High Rocks, I love the atmosphere, I love the training for it, I love doing it, but it was inside.
You say this
People
all the
travel
time.
to Miami. Well, it's the truth. You travel all over the world. How much is the ticket now? It's like 135 quid plus your flights, plus your accommodation. You can easily, do people go to Malaga dropping like easily $1,000?
Yeah, well,
For the weekend.
I've done that, but I always do a few days before and I do a few days after, just so I can
But
kind
when
of
you just like
enjoy
to
myself
run
down there.
outside and do it, how nice would that be?
I thought this when I was in Malaga. I wanted to do some runs when I was there, and I was like, I'm actually not going to be able to.
Not gonna be
I'm
able
going to
to.
be so crippled.
So basically ours is like a High Rocks, but it's outside, and the whole festival layout is like that. So back to the race as well, you got the 4K loop. It's about 4K,
Yeah.
but it goes through the main arena. So it goes past the main stage, it goes past all the activities within the festival. You'll have an MC on there, just like at kind of the High Rocks events.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
Past your pit stops,
It's that High Rocks atmosphere in a completely different format.
outside.
It's taken that atmosphere that everyone loves, because that's what people love about it. That's why people pay money. It's why they're so successful.
Yeah.
It's the atmosphere of everyone together in
not
the
'cause you
same
get a-
place.
Shitty patch.
You get so angry over the patches. I came third and got a flag.
Like, come on.
It's that atmosphere that people love, and that's what they'll keep paying the money for. That's why they'll keep being successful.
Yeah.
What I love about it is how accessible they've made it. Because CrossFit's out of touch for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, I've been quite successful at High Rocks. I couldn't go into CrossFit comps and be that successful unless I do 5 years of training really specific movements, gymnastics. There's so much
A lot of
involved.
people think it's going to be. Man, I used to do a bit of CrossFit, and I love that variation, but I was never very good at it.
Because it takes years.
You'd be good at certain bits,
Yeah.
but then I quite like that. Like gymnastics, I was absolutely hopeless.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable.
It takes years to get good at that. Like, High Rocks is grunt work. If you're a relatively fit individual and you learn the movements to a decent standard, you can be quite successful at it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hard work.
I think this could be this. We could chat about this. This could be another podcast, couldn't it?
Yeah, it can be a whole different
But
topic.
let's get back to Heart and Soul Fest. So we talked about the race, talked about the hybrid arena. We're probably not in too much detail there, but it's going to be an amazing workout, like I say, by Brendan, High Rocks Pro Athlete. Go and check him out on Instagram, and drop them a follow as
That'll
well.
be super well organised. All the comps he's done at the gym before, it's all super well organised. Like, it's Brian who does all the behind the scenes stuff, to be fair, but that's so well organised. Everything runs smoothly on the day. So what he's putting on will be great. That's essentially his summer games that he does every year, because he always does a competition at the gym. He's getting rid of that this year and doing it at our festival, which I think is a great touch. It's going to really add value to the festival and to the gym and get more eyes on what I'd say is the best place to train High Rocks in the Northeast, if not the country.
Yeah. Well, if you're in the Northeast or in the area, go and check them out there at White House Farm.
Process Driven Fitness.
Yeah, follow them on Instagram. Follow Brendan. Does some great training plans. He does PT as well. I think he's probably not any spaces left, is he?
He's usually
drop him a
pretty good,
message.
We've got the Process Driven Strength program now that people can book onto online. So they're essentially following the programs we follow, but they can buy that and follow that if they want to train like us.
Yeah.
Like idiots.
So I think, have we covered everything for Heart and Soul Fest now then? Is that kind of everything what's going on, do you think?
Nowhere close.
Nowhere
There's
close?
there's so much more.
What else is there? What have we got?
We touched on the yoga and Pilates. We haven't touched on Josie from High Club's gonna lead the yoga. So that's some cool stuff. Like, the big thing that I want to take from that is, if like you're doing the run but your wife wants to come down and support you, she doesn't want but she's came to support you in a lot of races.
No, I mean, and that's a bit sexist. The woman might want to do them. My wife might want to do a run.
I'm just talking about you specifically.
Obviously not my run.
I'm just talking about you specifically here, because you do this and Kim comes to watch you at loads of races.
Yeah.
And it's so boring for her because you're just out there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
What was the last one? So I've got 2 kids, 2 daughters, beautiful. But yeah, I dragged them to Glentress 65k, and they were waiting for, how long did it take me? I can't remember how long.
Too long.
Freezing, and they saw me for 3 minutes, and I was shoving my face with Jaffa cakes and said, "Where's the nearest toilet?" And that's kind of, and then I ran past them.
But they don't get to experience it, whereas they see you on this one every 4k loop. They can cheer you on and support you when you stop. They can be there to help you. Like, they're going to be so much more involved in terms of friends and family.
There's going to be so much on for your friends, family, and kids. They're not going to watch you. Because they're going to be paddleboarding, they're going to be in the sauna, they're going to be on the beach, they're going to be surfing, they're going to be hiking.
You'll be around the back of the course, you'll go like, oh, I can't wait, they'll have my water and stuff ready on this next lap. And like, nope, they're on a paddleboard in the middle of the lake.
Yeah. I mean, that's another cool thing to say. So, like the Backyard Ultra, I mean, we're chopping and changing here, but back to Heartbreak Lake, outside of the main arena, we've got your pit stop areas. So we want you guys, you'll have allocated an area 3x3, bring a gazebo, bring a tent, bring table, bring chairs. That's where your crew waits for you. It's your pit stop, we're calling it. You have all your nutrition there, you can cheer everyone on from there, and you can basically, if you're swapping over, you can hand the baton over to your teammates and do all that there.
The proverbial baton, because
there's no batons, no, it's just on your chip time. And then we've also got a fan zone area there as well. And we will have our own aid stations. We have a fully stocked aid station. We do recommend you bring your own stuff, because obviously if you're running a lot, you need your own nutrition.
I think the only thing was said that you aren't allowed in the main arena is you're not allowed to bring alcohol in. But in terms of your own nutrition and stuff, like, we've got amazing food vendors there, but people are quite particular on what they want. I know the gels that I use aren't the gels you use. Yeah. People train with certain things, so we want you to be able to bring your own nutrition to the race. So it's not like a festival where you can't bring food in. You have to bring in your own stuff if you're doing that kind of event.
Yeah. And what we'll actually do is, I'm thinking out loud here, we can do that thing, can't we? We can drop the layout over the video as we're talking.
I don't think I'm technical enough to do that.
We can do that. We'll try and do that. I'll drop in the layout to show you guys. We haven't put it on socials, because our socials, everyone keeps telling us they look slick. I mean, it's just me and Logan that's done it, so thank you very much. But it doesn't look slick enough for our socials. We are working on a map, which our boys at Robson are sorting out for us. But we'll drop it onto the YouTube, and so you can see the layout. We did put a sneak peek on our story, but it's not good enough to put on the post just yet. But it'll give you an idea and a feel of what the layout's looking like, what the arena's like, where the main stage is, and everything else there. So yeah, loads going on. And what else we got? We've got the climbing wall, the slip and slide.
It wasn't about the slip and slide.
The slip and slide's going to be mint. It's going to be really good. Imagine that, like, just like, if it does go into the lake, we need to sort health and safety. Saunas.
We haven't mentioned the sauna. There's going to be a whole
sauna, ice baths.
There's going to be a whole recovery centre there. So we've got some great physios coming down. So if you've finished your hybrid workout, or you're halfway through your ultra, you want to go get taped up for whatever reason, you've got a little niggle, or you just want a bit of massage, you know what I mean? You can go and see the physios, you can go and get looked after, get feeling fresh again, and then get back to whatever you're doing, or just help recover after you finish something.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be big. We're going to have the closing party, so to speak. So we'll have podiums and awards for all the different categories. So that's your open high rock solo, your pro high rock solo, your doubles, all the races. So your solo races, all the way up to your teams. All of them will have individual prizes, because if you're a team of 12, you're not racing against the solo guys. Yes, it's the same race, but it's a different competition. It's completely different. Like, it's not fair to say, I mean, you might have some crazy people who clock up loads of miles solo, but they're not racing against a team of 12.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be good. There'll be prizes and goodies given out all weekend. There's going to be mini games and stuff with some of the vendors that we've got. Yeah. That's quite cool.
Some mini games going on. So, I mean, the whole thing we want to do with this is, we think there's enough for every, like in terms of events and the gyms and everything else. So we want to create a fitness community. We want all the gyms to come, and that, yeah, we can battle it out. You know, we might be competitors during when we're working out, but you know, it's a whole fitness community, isn't it? We want to build a big fitness community there. We want everyone there enjoy themselves, and we can share a beer afterwards.
Well, that's our slogan. Our slogan is whatever your goal, and that's really what I want to push with this. It's like you're coming to race your race, whatever your goal is. If your goal is to run a marathon or just over a marathon, come and do that. Come and crank out a marathon.
Yeah.
And take as much time as you need to do that. If
Yeah.
your goal is to do 100 miles, come and get that done. It's whatever your goal
If you're doing
is.
couch for 5k, like I'd say I'll do, 3 lots of 5k over 24 hours, something like that. And that's quite nice actually, because we've not mentioned, because we've not actually announced this yet. We've been speaking to a lot of gyms about it in the local area. Some really good gyms. They're all the members are really psyched about this, excited. The Battle of the Gyms comp. So, and again, this is not going to be down to fitness. This is going to be down to representation. So, how many members each gym's going to bring along to the whole event.
My big thing with that is it's competitive against the gyms, because there's always a bit of competition, like, oh, I train at this gym, this is my community, so I'm going to compete against the other gyms. There's always that healthy, sometimes a little bit unhealthy competition.
Yeah.
But this is bringing everyone together under one roof. It's not under a roof, it's outside.
It's outside.
But it's bringing everyone together to compete against each other, rather than going, oh, well, I only train here with these guys. Let's bring everyone together. We're all part of the fitness community. We're all striving for the same goal, give or take. People are slightly different, but we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, we're going to make a league table of that as well. And then at the very end, so the last event on the Sunday, which we're planning now, we are going to have, I don't know how to call it, because we've already got the pro. The pro is on the Sunday anyway, but it's going to be like a pro elite. It's
the elite category. It's, imagine High Rocks Elite 15. It's the best guys. If you're part of, like for me, process driven fitness, it's let's go through the gym. Who are our top guys or girls? Let's put them in to a category where they're going to compete against Sculpt's top guys, against Method's top guys. All these great local gyms. Let's get the top guys together to compete and really put up some good times.
I mean, that's going to be mint. Like, so you put your coaches forward, you put a gym member forward, they're going to come along. It's going to be like a battle to the death, I keep calling it.
Yeah, I'm spoken to Brendan about it. I think he'll be quite...
I've spoken about it, I've told him about it.
I think he'll be angry he's working, because
I think he wants to do it.
Does he want to do it?
Yeah, so we might have to manage it. But then the whole idea is, all of us who's finished competing, we've done your races, you've done your hybrid, we're ready for the after party, Heart and Soul Raven.
Yeah. Don't tell the council.
Don't tell the council that. We might not be able to market that. But we all grab a beer. We grab a beer, we turn around, we watch, and this is the kind of main event, the bare knuckle fighting.
It's a big one.
This is the battle.
It's the top guys who are going to be really working hard to put.
Whoever's representing their gym there is going to be. I mean, that's where maybe competition will come into it.
Oh, there'll be the guys who I know will be competing in that. That's going to be some competition. Like personally, if I was doing it, I'd want to go last. I want to see them times posted. I want to know.
We'll have to work out how we do that.
I want to know what I'm going to beat. I want to be like, right, I need to, and this is the time I need to get here. It's like when I did the High Rocks in Dublin with Tom. I was on my phone refreshing that leaderboard up until the point, like literally 2 minutes before start. I was like, what do we need to get on the podium here? I was like, that's what you want it to be like. It's looking at it, it's like, right, I need 54 minutes. I need it.
And that's what it's going to be like. But imagine all the gyms, all the members cheering you on. And then we go into the after party where we're going to have a headline acts. So our music will be on. We're speaking to some sick bands.
Speaking of everyone grabbing a beer afterwards, that's something we haven't spoke about with Anarchy.
Yeah. We're not properly allowed to announce it yet, but we can. We know we can announce it in the podcast. I think this is low key.
Do you think? We've only had 5 years.
I mean, all we say is, I think we dropped a few feelers like by putting it on.
I think people know Anarchy's going to run the bar there. It'll all be Anarchy beers and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
I mean, and this feeds in again to the whole Northeast. Every brand we're working with, from Summit Crazy to Anarchy to Deep North, these are top Northeast brands. Yeah. And so it's not just the location, the beauty of it. We want to promote everything. We've got some fantastic brands. We've got Mountain King poles. I mean, they compete with Lecky, like a world leader in poles, but I use their poles. I think they're better than most.
I wish I had poles for that whole thing.
Yeah.
For that elevation, I wish I had poles so bad. I was so unprepared.
So it's a celebration of everything Northeast, and it's going to be great. Maybe we should try and get Sam Fender. I was thinking, you'll come play for us.
I doubt it.
You can ask him. He did a free charity event. I saw it on Look North News the other day.
I mean, I'd love to get
slide into his DMs and see if he can blast out some tunes.
Slightly out of budget.
I mean, we might have to put ticket prices up by £1,000. So does that kind of cover Heart and Soul Fest in a nutshell? Probably not yet. We're probably missing some big things because
definitely missing big things.
There's so much going on for the festival. So much. Like I said, we're doing hiking, geocaching for the kids. It's right on the beach. So if you guys just want to chill out and get to the beach,
sea dip,
get on the beach, sea dip. So there'll be a sauna on the beach and there's a sauna in the main arena. And how hot was he saying that sauna gets to? 100 degrees?
It's meant to get to 100. He says it usually sits around 90, which is hot enough.
That's warm. And hopefully we're going to have the summer sun on the 1st of August on that weekend.
Yeah, banging on English weather.
Yeah. And like I say, any questions, you don't have to stay for the full weekend. We'd love you to because we think it's going to be awesome. I think you'd regret it if you don't.
Day passes are available. Like, if you're local and you want to not camp, like, go home to your own bed, that's fine.
Yeah.
Personally, if I was doing it, because this is a festival that I want to go to, but it doesn't exist, hence why we're making it. Like, it's what we want. You know what I mean? We're making something that we really want to go to, and we won't be able to because we'll be working non-stop, so we probably won't be able to enjoy it as much as we should.
No.
But this is something that I'd want to go to, and I'd want to camp all weekend. I'd want to be amongst the atmosphere, and I'd want to just immerse myself in it all weekend. This is what I'd want to spend my money on in terms of a holiday.
It's going to be mint, and this is our first ever festival, so you want to say you've been to the first one and see us grow. We want to scale this. We want to make it bigger and better each year, so we need you guys' support to be able to do that. And the prices, so it's the most expensive ticket price we do is $199. That includes a 24-hour ultra. That includes a 3-day pass for the festival, for all the workshops, for all the activities. It includes your camping. That's not bad. A lot of campsites you wouldn't get 3D camping for $199 these days.
Definitely not.
On this kind of site, you can get VIP camping with electric hookup. That's very, very limited. We don't have many spaces left for that. And the rest of it's kind of camping on the triangle field. We've got some other fields you can bring your car in as well. So you've got everything there. The parking's then included in that. But drop any questions again in the comments around Heart and Soul Fest, or email us or DM us on Instagram. We're pretty reactive.
Yeah, we're
always on our phones, as my wife keeps telling me. So we'll get back to you. And I think we've pretty much covered most things. The only thing we haven't, we'll be getting this out before test flight.
Yeah, this will be out before test flight, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Test flight's the 26th of April, which is a mini event, let's call it. Yeah. It's the same loop as the 4K that people will be doing at the main festival for the Heartbreak Lake, but we're just scaling it down to 3 hours. So it's kind of come and get a feel. Obviously, there's no festival going on, there's no music. We'll have a great coffee vendor there, shout out to Adam. So we'll have that there. We'll have an aid station that's fully stocked. We'll have goodies. We'll have some prize giveaways and all that kind of stuff. But it's just a 3-hour event that can be done solo or teams of 6.
Yeah, solo pairs or teams over 6.
Yeah, so it's the same format as how you'd run the Heartbreak Lake, but on a smaller scale. So if a pair wants to run a lap together, that's 2 laps for your pair. If you just run individually, it's 1 and 1 and so on.
Yeah.
But that's just 3 hours, which I'd be able to get some decent distances in 3 hours.
I think so. And it's the same format, like you say, you can run together for that as well. The key thing, we want this exclusive because it is kind of, for us, we'll be completely transparent. It's kind of to test everything. I really want to test.
That's why we call it test
the whole event. But it is chip time, so you get your chip times for that as well. You will get a little goodie bag at the end of it. And it's £10 to enter. I don't think you can get a race which is chip timed for 3 hours for as cheap as that.
No,
probably anywhere in the world. This is the cheapest race in the world.
We're losing money on it.
We are losing money on it, but we want to build a community. We want you guys to come. We want you guys to come and chat to us. And we want you guys to buy tickets for Heart and Soul Fest to experience that as well. So we're giving you this race. It should be pretty good.
It's testing the logistics of the chip timing essentially. So I wanted to make sure it's going to work on the day without any bugs. And this is our first year running anything like this. So for me, it's if I'm in a team of 6 and we're running laps together and then we'll run a few laps individually, making sure that chip timing works to clock up the laps the way it should. We're a great guy who's doing that for us, so I'm sure it'll run smoothly. But it's just testing logistics and making sure the route's fine. It's just a test flight.
Yeah,
that's why it's called that.
Just
you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, 10 out of enter. It's going to be a good fun day out.
It'll be great fun.
Yeah, so tell your mates. It is exclusive for it, so you have to DM us and we'll send you the passcode to get in to access ticketing for it. It's £10 per member, so if you're running by yourself, it's a tenner. If you're running a team of 6, it's 60 quid.
Yeah.
£10 each, that's it. And like I said, you get a goodie bag. There's plans for that. There will be prizes for each category again, for solo, pairs and teams.
Oh, Scott support that.
I don't know actually. I need to speak to Michelle. Yeah, let's get Scott involved.
Because that would be cool if they could help support that. Like they have been, they've been a great help with the trail clubs.
Scott's been awesome. Yeah, go and check Scott out.
They're really looking after us. To be fair, they're again another great Northeast brand who's helping us in a massive way and really looking out for it and putting on some great stuff.
Yeah. I mean the HQ, UK HQs up in Cramlington. They've been fantastic. They support a lot of local events as well. We just did what was it called? The Northumberlandia.
Say that one again.
Northumberlandia. Yeah, the 10K, the night race.
Yeah.
I wore the RC2s. They're fantastic.
That's the only night race I've ever done.
I mean, it's the only night race I've done. It's not an ultra going into the night.
Yeah.
So
it started 6 p.m. and the sun went down. It was fast until the end, and I hit the hills. Then it was not so fast.
We took it too easy. I reckon we could have got. We were chatting away.
The first 4K.
I reckon the first 5 to 6K, and then
the last 2K were horrific.
Yeah, I was redlining then.
It was so bad.
I'm so not used to redlining.
I had to stop for a wee.
Well, yeah, but you still caught us.
I seen you just taking off. I was like, I'm gonna have to absolutely cane it here to catch up to them.
Yeah, big old Eric from RGZ was trying to nail it as well. He had to drop you there.
He was dropping the excuses early, saying, "Oh, my legs are tired. I had my long run the day before." I think he said he was dropping the excuses.
But I mean, that was a great event by what's that? Northern Runner? Northern Fell Runners. That was really nice and welcoming. Love the guys there.
Yeah, well organised.
Really well organised.
Yeah, for it not being chip time, it was a really well organised event. It was really cool.
It was good. Good for the kids. The kids like the glow sticks.
I didn't realise how close to the front we were. I didn't realise I came fourth.
You come fourth?
Yeah.
I come fifth?
Yeah.
Oh, what a podium!
This is what when I came.
I forgot a track that there.
They said at the end they were like, "Oh, it's the first loser." When I came in, I came fourth.
Oh no way!
I think you were the second fastest lady.
Lady, how's that?
If you were a lady.
Oh. No, I think I beat her. No, did I? Oh.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it was a great event, and hopefully in the next few years we'll be putting our own events on, similar to that, with a different twist, with a heart and soul racing twist.
Yeah, we want to do smaller events, 10Ks, 20Ks, 15s, like little small events throughout the year. Obviously the festival's always going to be the big headline every year. We'll keep doing it, it'll keep scaled, it'll get massive hopefully. But we want to do smaller races just throughout the year. It keeps the community, it keeps people active, it keeps people doing bits. It'll make them fun, make them a little bit different.
That's what we're all about. We don't want to ever lose those core values, and that's why we want to start doing a podcast so you guys can get to know us. But we're very approachable. Come chat to us at Trail Club, chat to us on Instagram. You can follow us, our personal accounts as well. They're all open. Have a chat to us. Any questions, advice about trail running in general, or about high rocks, don't ask me about high rocks.
If anyone wants any coaching, I can help my best. I'm a personal trainer, so I'll try my best.
Yeah.
If you want to do silly challenges like we set out to do, I can help you in that.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to join us on a run, just join us in the WhatsApp community, because we've got a load of stuff on there. But I think that's pretty much all we've got on our notes to have a chat about.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to run through?
Can we announce the big meeting you had the other day or not? We're not allowed to do that.
No, we'll keep that a secret. Keep that top secret for now.
I don't know what I'm allowed to mention and what I'm not allowed to mention.
We'll keep that a secret for now. So we're going to be dropping some really big announcements soon. So yes, we've dropped some really cool influencers already, some really cool speakers, but we're going to drip feed that to you, which is, I think, it's a good way to do it for our first year, and because we're still kind of finalising stuff and planning it.
Alright, cool.
So yeah, we'll leave that for now. But yeah, thanks for joining us on our first ever podcast.
Heart and Soul podcast.
We're going to fix our name, and we'll probably dodgily edit in at the beginning of this podcast.
If anyone has any name suggestions, drop them in. Let's put a poll on Instagram. I want name suggestions for a podcast
That's it.
because I'm really not creative.
Yeah. So I was just going to call it HSR Trail Podcast.
That's horrific. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Something like that. Because we want to do more of these, but it's only if you guys want to watch it and listen to it. By the time we edit it down, it's probably about 3 minutes anyway.
Yeah. Take off all the bits I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah. We should do a bloopers actually as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Well, we don't know what cadence we're going to shoot these out because we're super busy at the moment.
These are going to be infrequent, realistically, like, no matter how much we can get them out. If we can get one a month, one every other month, maybe.
We'll try and get it
Do we
done.
have that much to speak about?
Yeah.
We
see
can get
if
some
you guys
guests on, maybe.
We've got a lot to talk about, but it's
Yeah.
whether people want to listen to us talk shit.
We can get some guests on at some point, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
To
Yeah.
be fair, if we start getting on some of the vendors and some of the guest speakers who are going to be at the festival anyways,
Yeah,
that could be quite interesting leading up to it.
yeah, yeah.
We haven't mentioned Ward Powders. He's going to be...
Yeah, wad powders, yeah. Yeah, so wad powders going to be there. I mean, we already use them as our electrolytes. They are specifically a blend for CrossFit,
Yeah.
historically. But
leaning into the hybrid
they
trend.
give us a hybrid now because everyone's doing hybrid. It is, it's all on trend, which is great. But their products are actually fantastic, and we use it for running. Their electrolytes, their content of kind of sodium, potassium, everything you need.
That Mojito Clearway is much better than I thought it was
The
going to be.
Mojito Clearway is pretty good, and
I seen it and I was like, that's going to be really good or really bad, and it's actually
it's
tremendous.
really good. If you mix a bit of ice.
Over
then-
ice, it's like Mojito,
Yeah.
it's great.
And I like that their WOD fuel is very similar to Tailwind, but without the electrolytes. You put a bit of electrolytes in, rather
Without
than
the carbs.
salt have. Not the carbs. No, WOD fuel's got carbs.
Does not have electrolytes in as well.
I don't know.
I
Sweet
might, have to
Tom.
I might have to read the packaging.
So shout out to WOD Powders. They've been supporting us. They've been really great, and they're going to be sponsoring our hybrid arena, so the WOD Powders arena.
All the
Powered by
athletes there will
process.
be wad fueled up and ready to go and compete.
Yeah. So yeah, and that kind of finalize. It goes into your goodie boxes, your goodie bags. You're going to be getting some real good medals, patches, goodies, like really good stuff. We don't want you to turn away with like a packet of crisps and a can of Stella and a shit medal. That's not what we're about. We're about the bling. We want the good bling.
You want the good
I want
one.
the good bling. So
Yeah.
you're going to be getting good medals and good goodies.
You deserve it if you've ran for that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've earned it.
Yeah. Even if you do 5K, you get a good medal. So, cool. That's us.
Alright, I think that's it. Done.
Cut.
Peace.
I think that was alright.
Maybe. We'll watch it back and we'll just cringe.
I think we will cringe. I don't even think we'll need to edit that.
I wouldn't. Bang it up. Let's
Bang
go.
it straight up. We ain't gonna edit that, and it's still recording.